Now at 5, showers, thunderstorms, a severe threat rolls in later on tonight. I'll have those details.
Plus, the latest on a study to determine the feasibility for a hospital in Bourbon County.
A gap in former President Trump's phone logs during the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol is raising concerns. I'm Skylar Henry with the details of the House committee investigating that day and their findings so far.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Looks like thunderstorms will move into the 4 states late tonight. This is KOAM News at 5. We go straight to Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it's been warm and very windy for us today, and we are still several hours away from any showers or thunderstorms working into the region. We look fine right now, but you can see the new severe thunderstorm watch that has popped up on the Kansas side, and that is until midnight because that's where most of the thunderstorms are going to be for the next several hours, and then they'll start to work off toward the east a little bit later on tonight. But already getting going to the west of Wichita, the main threat with most of these storms tonight, including out west and here, is going to be large hail, some gusty winds. It's a low tornado threat, but there is a tornado threat, so that's something we want to watch. You can see most of the region, at least, in a low threat for severe weather. Timing really after 9 p.m. in our western counties all the way up to about 5 o'clock in the morning hours. So loud, late night. I'll break it down for you here in a bit.
See you then. Bourbon County, Kansas commissioners met again with Noble Health to discuss a feasibility study as they consider the future of the old Mercy Hospital building that closed in 2018. Noble representatives presented a summary of key findings from their hospital feasibility study, although that study is not finished. The building currently belongs to the county. Once the study is complete, the county will have a better understanding of the costs. There was also a recommendation to move forward with a 50C3 entity.
In a 501c model, you're able to choose who you work with and where you send your patients, who you work with certain entities. Also, we'll be able to collaborate, and allows us to collaborate with different hospitals, say collaborate with Ascension to provide service.
The study is expected to be completed in 4 to 6 weeks. We were unable to speak with anyone at Noble Health. Improvements to the Newton County Dispatch Center should provide more reliable 911 response. Dispatchers now have new consoles with more space, and they've replaced an old landline system that was prone to break down.
The 911 service that we're receiving is top notch. We have better communications now between dispatch and our officers, and better communications between the other agencies. So it's a great benefit.
The improvements are funded by the public safety tax passed back in August of 2020. Newton County had not had any upgrades for 17 years as it is in the process of getting a new generator. A single vehicle crash claims the life of a Knoll, Missouri man. Happened last night on Missouri 90, about 2 miles east of Southwest City. Troopers say 30-year-old Pedro Maldonado Carrillo drove a car that went off the road and overturned. He died at the scene. Area voters will decide some local races and tax proposals 1 week from today, and tonight they get a chance to learn more about what's on those ballots. The Missouri Southern Channel, KGCS TV, tonight hosts a forum for Joplin City Council candidates. That'll be at 6 this evening at the Joplin City Council chambers, and the public is welcome to attend. KGCS will broadcast that program live, then as a rerun several more times in the coming days. You can also see it on the KGCS TV YouTube channel. Also tonight, the Carthage Chamber of Commerce is hosting a candidate forum beginning at 6 p.m. in the community room of the Carthage Water and Electric Plant. That forum will include candidates for the school board, city council, and mayor. And the Quapaw School District tonight will host a public meeting on a $3.5 million school bond proposal that would fund various building improvements. That meeting begins at 6:30 in the Quapaw Elementary School library. The House Select January 6th committee is scrutinizing a nearly 8-hour gap in former President Trump's phone records, some of which occurred during the time rioters were attacking the Capitol building. Committee members have voted to recommend contempt of Congress referrals for 2 more former Trump aides, while also calling on the Biden Justice Department to do more. Skylar Henry has more from Capitol Hill.
CBS News and the Washington Post report former President Donald Trump's phone records from January 6 that are in the hands of the House committee investigating the Capitol assault contain a nearly 8-hour gap.
People attack the Capitol right at that time that there's this gap. Who was he talking to? What was he doing?
CBS News has confirmed Trump spoke on the phone with Utah Senator Mike Lee and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy during that time frame. House committee members are looking into whether the former president used phones belonging to his aides or so-called burner phone that day.
Do you think the former president was using a burner phone?
I'm not going to speculate on what was happening, but we know he was communicating. Clearly, there's a lot that's missing that deserves the truth.
Trump responded in a statement saying, "I have no idea what a burner phone is." Monday, the House January 6th committee voted unanimously to recommend two former Trump aides, Dan Scavino and Peter Navarro, for a full House vote on a contempt of Congress for failing to comply with subpoenas. But during that committee meeting, members also criticized the Justice Department for not moving so far on a contempt of Congress referral against former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows.
Attorney General Garland, do your job so that we can do ours.
On another front, the committee is claiming victory after a California federal judge ordered attorney John Eastman, who outlined legal plans to overturn the 2020 election, to turn over his records. In his ruling, Judge David Carter said Eastman and Trump more likely than not engaged in criminal conduct to overturn the election. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Thursday, the House January 6th committee has scheduled testimony with former President Trump's aide and son-in-law, Jared Kushner. The committee's chairman says no decision has been made on whether to call Ginny Thomas, wife of the U.S. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, to testify. Last week, CBS News and the Washington Post obtained her text messages to former Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, which pushed for overturning the 2020 election. After a century of trying, today the U.S. is officially making lynching a federal hate crime as President Biden signs that new bill into law. The Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act was passed by Congress earlier this month, named for a black teen who was murdered in 1955 in a case that became pivotal for civil rights. More than 200 similar bills have previously failed to pass Congress. A little later, by land, by air, or by sea, the expense of getting from here to there.
Americans plan to travel more this year, but it's coming at a cost. I'm Danya Backus with a look at the rising price of travel.
But first, how diet can affect your risk of lung cancer. That's next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, the Biden administration is expected to give Americans over 50 the option to have a second COVID booster shot. Now, experts say technically an extra dose is currently available for anyone who says they need one because they are immunocompromised. The action by the White House would not amount to an official second booster recommendation, but would give everyone over 50 the option. Researchers say the diabetes drug metformin, when used by men trying to conceive a child, can raise the risk of birth defects. The study, published in the Annals of Internal Medicine, urges men who take metformin to consider with their doctor, consult with them before trying to conceive a child. Researchers found the odds of children having asthma or eczema were significantly higher when mothers used disinfectants 1 to 6 times a week compared to mothers who never used them. The highest rate was among mothers who used disinfectants daily, 26% greater for asthma and 29% greater for eczema. There will be more than 230,000 new cases of lung cancer this year in the U.S. About 130,000 will die from it. Smoking is one of the biggest risk factors for lung cancer, but even non-smokers can get lung cancer. However, there may be a way you can lower your risk, and it all starts in the kitchen. It's well known what you breathe into your body has a great impact on your lungs, but what about what you eat? A study from Vanderbilt University has found people who had a diet high in fiber and yogurt had a 33% lower risk of developing lung cancer than those who didn't consume fiber or yogurt at all. That might be because fiber and yogurt's prebiotic and probiotic properties promote growth of beneficial microorganisms in the intestines, which can limit cancer cells from forming. The results were the same whether a person was a smoker or not.
Biggest risk factor, it turns out, for getting lung cancer is having lungs.
Vegetables such as broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts can also lower your risk for lung cancer by 40%. They contain a substance called indole-3-carbinol that can repair damage done to cells from carcinogens, which are found in tobacco products before they can turn cancerous. And a Singapore Chinese health study found that diets high in beta-cryptoxanthin lowered lung cancer risk by about 25% and by 37% in smokers. These foods include carrots, red bell peppers, oranges, and peaches. Even though diet may play a role in keeping cancer at bay, the biggest way to lower your cancer risk is
to not smoke and to not pick up a cigarette. If you're already a smoker, it's not too late. Quit smoking.
a study from MD Anderson Cancer Center found that former smokers who had enough folate in their diet lowered their risk of lung cancer by 40%. Foods rich in folate include spinach, beans, and kale. A big risk factor for heart attacks is noise pollution. That's according to research presented at the American College of Cardiology. Analysts looked at the heart attack rates of more than 16,000 people, estimating the noise pollution levels in their neighborhoods. They found a 72% higher rate in communities with greater traffic noises. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, the rising cost of travel for your next vacation.
Plus, thunderstorms will increase for us tonight. I'll have all those details coming up. Well, it's definitely turned out to be a very warm and very windy day for us today. Winds have been gusting way up there throughout the afternoon. Temperature is great. We have a lot of mid and upper level clouds, which have thickened up over the past couple hours. Very evident on our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. This is our tower cam. This is just outside Seneca, Missouri, right on the west side of the city, but a great shot. It's actually going to turn out to be a pretty good evening. All these thunderstorms, these are tonight, not during the evening hours. Look at our temps. We're mid to upper 70s. Yates Center is sitting at 80. We're at 79. And Independence Grove is sitting at 77, 76 in Neosho. But it is very windy. We have these southerly winds really kicking in, sustained in that 20 to 30 mile per hour range. Then you get the gusts. Look at our gusts, 40, 45 miles per hour at times. So this is, I had trash day today and I had to try to find my trash can because it's been so windy throughout the afternoon. This is going to continue as we go into the evening hours. 7th and range line, we are dry, currently sitting at 77, south winds 23, gusts 36, humidity is at 48%. Through the evening hours, we slide back through the 70s, 60s, thunderstorms for most of us after midnight. Now, the farther west you work, the quicker these storms are going to work in as we go into the evening hours. Nothing going on here right now. We just have the mid and upper level clouds. Zoom out just a little bit. Look at this storm system. You can see the spin up through parts of Nebraska, and then we have a dry line and a cold front, which is setting up out to our west. So if we zoom in a little bit closer, you can see the severe thunderstorm watch. This is out until midnight, and already thunderstorms are getting going to the west of Wichita. Now, as we go through the evening hours and this line gets closer to us, additional watches most likely will be put out by the Storm Prediction Center as we go through the evening hours. But as of right now, this is our northwestern counties, but you can see this is right along our dry line. The cold front's back here. This is right along the dry line, so we're getting thunderstorms popping up. Main threat is going to be gusty winds and large hail. We do have a little bit of a tornado threat as we go through the evening hours or the overnight hours. Our low-level jet will increase a little bit, and that can make a couple storms try to rotate just a bit. But I'm going to keep the tornado threat low. 9 p.m. western counties, eastern counties all the way until 5 a.m. We're going to elevate hail, wind, and rain as we go through the overnight. All right, let's go through time. Thunderstorms get going after 9 p.m. western counties. So here's midnight. Pittsburgh, Joplin, all the metro, you're dry. But these thunderstorms continue to work east. It's going to be a broken line. But some of these storms, we could get some very gusty winds and some large hail along the front as it rolls in. So here's 2:30 in the morning. Here's 4 in the morning. Still thunderstorms now getting into our eastern counties. And then it's just periods of showers and thunderstorms as we head into the morning. And then eventually still some scattered thunderstorms during the afternoon. But our temperatures are actually going to drop through the day. We'll start at 58, 62 by noon and then go down into the 40s by the time we head into the afternoon hours. So it's going to be a very loud night. We do need to keep our eyes on it, but most of us, we're talking midnight to 6 a.m. is our window. 62 tomorrow, 52 on Thursday, 67 with some showers back in late Friday into Saturday. But overall, most of the weekend looks pretty good. More thunderstorms next Monday and Tuesday. It's that time of the year.
Yeah, the ground will be soggy by the time we get to the weekend, but at least the sun will be shining.
That is true.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up, the rising cost of airline tickets. First, though, we honor a local veteran of the U.S. Army. Michael McMain, who joined in 2007, served in Afghanistan with an airborne brigade. He's a Kansas native, and we're proud to salute Specialist Michael McMain, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, with most COVID restrictions lifted, millions of people are looking to travel again, but it's costing more. Danya Bacchus explains.
Gina Kramer and her daughter Frankie flew to Southern California to visit family they weren't able to see during the pandemic.
I haven't seen my family that lived here in 4 years, so I think so. It's going to be a family reunion of sorts.
But the trip is coming at a cost. Oil prices are making jet fuel more expensive, and that has ticket prices soaring. The average is around $311, up nearly 32% from the beginning of the year. Gina saw increases while shopping for her ticket online.
And if you missed a window, 2 days later, the prices were like $100 more.
Even with the higher prices, a new survey finds 72% of Americans plan to travel more this year. That rise in demand is pushing up prices for just about everything travel related.
Domestic bookings are surging. Hotel rates are going up, nearing 2019 levels.
CBS News senior travel advisor Peter Greenberg says national park reservations are in high demand and cruise ships are filling up as people put more importance on travel. An American Express survey found 65% of people would rather take their dream vacation than purchase a new car.
People are now valuing travel as an experience that they want to keep, and that's what they're doing.
Mother Samantha Strobel Engler agrees.
We've missed out on so much. I think, being a parent to young kids during this time, it's like you want to give them that experience again. You want to show them the world again.
Experts say Americans who plan to travel should book quickly because it's likely rates will continue to go up. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Burbank, California.
The founder of FedEx is stepping down as CEO. Fred Smith, who started the company back in 1971, will become executive chairman. In a statement, Smith says he wants to focus on sustainability, innovation, and public policy. Disney says it'll fight Florida's controversial new law, HB 1557, also known by some as the Don't Say Gay law. Governor Ron DeSantis signed it into law yesterday. It forbids instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity in kindergarten through third grade. Disney vows to work to repeal that law. TikTok may release a new feature that may save users lots of time when using the app. The company is testing an update which will allow you to look for the specific video you recently saw. Netflix keeps its push into gaming, adding an independent developer to its platform. Netflix has acquired Boss Fight Entertainment, best known for the mobile game Dungeon Boss. Netflix currently has gaming titles Stranger Things 3, The Game, Shooting Hoops, Card Blast, and others. Doug's final check of the forecast up next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, the power of friendship. The story of one teenager badly injured on the football field and how his best friend is helping him heal. Then on KOAM News at 6, Bronte Sorosky has more on the prospect for a hospital coming to Bourbon County, Kansas, plus a $225,000 donation today from Freeman Health System. We look at who will benefit. And Southwest Missouri prepares for what's billed as the largest fishing competition in history. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Overnight, while many of us are sleeping, we will be having some thunderstorms rumbling through the area.
Yeah, we will. Already, they're getting going out to the west of Wichita. You can see a severe thunderstorm watch in our Kansas counties, and I do expect additional watches to come out farther east. But this is going to be later on tonight. They're not even going to make it into the metro until well after midnight. Western counties kind of about 10 p.m. But of course, we're going to keep our eyes on it. Periods of showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, high 62, but dropping into the 40s by the afternoon. And then overall temperatures the next week look pretty good.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.